Hello, everyone. Welcome to this month's Shooting Better Scientifically, where it's all about developing champion kids through the 4-H shooting sports projects. So, first question, open up your mics, type in the chat, whatever you prefer. What are some things our youth do when they feel angry, frustrated, embarrassed, or disappointed in themselves? Chandra, what comes to mind when you think of this?
I think some of them close off and stop communicating.
Some
Okay.
of them lash out.
Say that again.
Some lash out. They like,
Okay. Lash out, quit talking, stop participating.
Yeah, they withdraw from the activity and maybe pull away from the others and go somewhere else.
I've seen kids cry. So when we think about handling emotions, it's not about having emotions, because we want everybody to have emotions, even if it is anger, frustration, embarrassment, or disappointment. But it's about how do we learn a way to handle those in a more positive way? And what the research found out through the thriving model is, Chandra? You're muted. Sorry about that. 4-Hers come out of the 4-H program with positive emotionality, which means that they're able to take these really tough emotions and figure out a positive way to express them. Do you want to add to that, ma'am?
Not really. It's just that, again, like Tammy said, we need to remember that emotions are okay to have. But how can we turn that into a positive and learn and grow and control those emotions in the way that they become positive emotions?
So we are your hosts for today. I am Tammy Stewart. I spend most of my time writing, but I'm a 30+ year 4-H volunteer.
I'm Chandra Plate. I'm the 4-H specialist in Kansas for 4-H shooting sports. And I'm also serve on the national committee for 4-H shooting sports.
And moderating today, we have Scott Stewart, who serves as the coordinator for the National 4-H Shooting Sports Program. So we thank the team for being here today to put on this quick program. So when you look at the young people, when they come out of situations where maybe the scores aren't adding up right, they haven't quite got the right numbers, or maybe they wrote it down in a way, and they're so frustrated. How do we take that moment as a teachable moment? And the big answer that we came up with for this was start ahead of time. If you always start then, but there's a way to start ahead of time. And so we're going to give you a game to play with your kids at any level to help them with these frustrating emotions sometimes. So this is where I said you're going to be shouting out. So look at the left-hand side picture. And this is a do not something in shooting sports practice. So what do you think this person, and you can see here, there's 3 blanks. So there's do not, there's 3 words that come after that. So if this is shooting sports practice, what do you think this is about? Let's get some guesses going on. Come on. Do not. Okay, I'll give you a hint. This person is the 4-Her, and this person is the coach.
talk to me.
Do not what?
Talk to me or tell me what to do.
Okay. Any
So
others?
I think she's coming from the concept of what maybe she thinks the youth is saying, So what we're trying to get at in the game is what should the youth not do? But what are they doing in this picture?
Are
Stop
they-
participating, quit talking are some of the answers. Very good.
So this would be, do not ignore the coach. So that is what we are going from. So you can see when we get ready to teach positive emotionality, what we're doing is we're teaching some things of what to do and what not to do. So what, like positive emotions, positive emotionality, not an everyday term that we're using. So let's break this down a little bit. Chandra, when you see this definition, what stands out to you as the most important?
I just think that we need to remember that these are small moments in time and they're teachable moments. And so if we can help youth to see that whatever is frustrating them at this moment is not their whole life, it's just this one little thing. I think that's part of the helping them turn those emotions into positive emotions. As they develop frustrations, but learn how to deal with frustrations in a way that actually helps them grow, because I can take that negative energy and turn it into something positive in my sport.
And I think you nailed it right there. It is about how do you take that moment that is frustrating and figure out a way to see it positive or through a positive lens. I think you hit that right on the head. So they take it with them in life. Absolutely. So just as a reminder, the lesson plan is based off of the research of the Thriving Model and then also Iowa State's life skill model. And so the life skills that we chose for this one, ma'am?
Our resiliency and the ability to recover after experiencing misfortune or distress. How many of you have seen that? In any sport, we see that. And in life, we see that as well. And also managing feelings, being able to express those feelings in a way that becomes productive and helps them grow and become a positive feeling as well.
And as I think about today, like we're talking mainly about frustration, but in college football, they made I'm going to call it the no celebration rule. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's called excessive celebration, where even like in that positive moment where you made this amazing play, how do you still keep that emotion in check, right? So you don't all of a sudden kind of make yourself an idol out there on the football field. So it goes both ways, even though today's lesson is a lot about those frustrating moments that we have. So our success markers that we set up for this is number one, we just want the kids to participate. Let's start with that. What we'd like to see though is that they actually go up and do the illustration and put some leadership into the game in that way. And the last one is then when you play the game and go out to the range, that they start putting these lessons into practice right away, and that they also develop the peer group that is going to help them do that because they all went through the same game together. So let's see how, go ahead, ma'am, while you pull up the game.
I was just going to say, let's see how it works.
So the lesson looks like this. Of course, we have what is positive emotions from the Thriving Model. Here's your life skills. There's your success markers we talked about. This is where the lesson objective comes in. That youth will draw a contrast of the different ways to handle emotions positively and appropriately. So again, we're not talking about always being happy, but just finding a positive way. So in this, you're going to set up the range as normal, and you're then need some drawing paper and then markers or tape or something, a way to hang the sheets, and then copies of the drawing cards. And a timer. Don't forget the timer. So probably going to be a cell phone. So just as we started out today by asking you a question, about embarrassment, frustration, disappointment, that's what you're going to ask them about so they can start identifying those before the game starts. And as Shannon already said, we talked about these are all emotions are normal, like they're okay to have those. But then the big question, how do you think it affects your shooting? And then how do you think it affects the people around you when you're handling your emotions in a negative way? So then we're always tuning their brain into what to focus on and their body, what to focus on. So Chandra, will you take number 4 for us, please?
Okay, we are going to play a game to help you reflect on the do's and don'ts of experiencing your emotions, specifically emotions around anger and frustration. You're going to divide into 2 teams and take turns drawing. Your team will guess what your 2 teammates are drawing. If they don't get it in 90 seconds, then the other team can try to steal what they think the phrase is.
And so the phrases that you're going to have cards to share with them are these phrases here. That's the right one. And so the first one you can see here, it's a do not, and then a do. And I'm going to go back up here. So you guys talked about shutting down in the beginning. So, right, do not shut down, but then good coaching is always telling them what to do, right? Not just what not to do, but then what should I be doing? And so again, this is the way it is. So your 2 kids would go up, they would draw this. The other ones that we have, do not throw anything, do set your firearm down. Do not shame and blame, or blame and shame. Do forgive yourself. Do not lie. Do say, I messed up. Do not negative self-talk, and do find a thing you did right. You want to take this one, Chandra?
Do not ignore your coach. Do ask for help.
Keep going.
Do not ruminate. Do reframe what happened. And you might need to explain that ruminate word to the youth. But a lot of our youth are rural youth, and they will understand the chewing of the cud of the ruminant animal. But yes, do not ruminate, do reframe what happened.
And you'll notice each of these slides have a coaching moment, whether you do that yourself or whether you have the drawers say it after they've drawn these. Like in this one, when you keep playing a negative time over and over in your mind, take a moment and list 3 good things that happened to you, that happened to. Maybe you had great form, a friend helped you out, or a strong back, stopped. So there, each one of those, if you didn't notice, have these. Caring adults are here to help and coach you. Remember to ask them, us for help. Again, depends on who's reading that. So these are the cards that you'll want to print off and have ready for the drawing team. So basically there's like 14 pictures that they will be drawing. Get to the right screen share here. So again, what you're going to want to do is the young people will either write do or do not, however it starts. So let them write that and then the words. And then as somebody guesses something, then like this one is a do not ruminate. Then you write the do and the do and the not on there. But what the crowd has to guess or their team has to guess is ruminate. And so again, this is what the cards will look like that you'll be handing out. And if you want to rewrite these or print in black and white, that's totally up to you, whatever works best. The directions actually say to fold it in half. So only the people that are up there drawing can see them. So then they start drawing and then they fill in the words there as they guess them. So with that, let's go back to the lesson and see how we wrap this up. maybe.
So when you go out to the range, think about each of the do's of handling your emotions. Remember, it's okay to feel frustrated, angry, embarrassed, and disappointed. You'll just want to handle those emotions in ways that leave you feeling positive afterwards and believing that you can change things for the better.
And then for the debrief, we chose
Yeah, go ahead.
for the debrief, we chose highlight, low light, insight. And of course, you want to specifically say about playing the game to help them bring back those memories of the game. And learning positive ways to handle emotions. Hopefully they'll have insight on, oh, I didn't know I could just say I messed up instead of having to try to cover up something that happened. So that is what we would like for young people to do and be able to process and share. I need to change the way I do my screens. I'm sorry about this, you guys. And so just as a reminder, what positive emotionality is that in the end, youth are positive and optimistic. And this is what the research showed about 4-Hers that we're already doing, what you're doing as a 4-H leader to help them manage emotions, to really lead to their better emotional health. So, any questions as we remind you that next time is not only for adults, but are definitely for youth on self-regulation and goal setting? Thoughts, questions, ideas, or reactions? Chandra, when you look at this, you're one of the advisors for National 4-H Shooting Sports Ambassadors. How could you see using this?
Well, I can see a number of different ways to use it, but part of it is the National 4-H Shooting Sports Ambassadors run the award ceremonies at the national championships. And so they're the MCs, they're the people who help set up everything. They guide people on and off the stage. We hand out ribbons, and occasionally we hand out the wrong ribbons to the wrong youth. And the ambassadors are disappointed about that when that happens. And sometimes there's coaches that come and talk to them that are not very nice about what happened either. And so it would just help the youth to, I think the ruminating one is really important for our youth today. And I think that we could use that. I could use that before our award ceremonies and just talk to the youth about dealing with conflict, dealing with people who maybe aren't happy with exactly how things went, and also remembering that they're human beings and sometimes we get things wrong because we don't know every face that is coming across the stage. So if they come across in the wrong order, our youth don't always know that, oh, you were fifth and you were fourth, not you were fourth and you were fifth. So I just think we could use this in any number of circumstances. It doesn't always even have to be shooting.
Right. And I remember when we were planning this lesson and you talked about that, you're like, I think this is way beyond just the 4-H Shooting Sports Project. So when you talked about handing out the wrong awards at national championships, and I've been around that, and for that, it's not just a youth lesson, right? That do not blame and shame what card. Like there's a lot of people that need that, and it's hard not to go to that because your heart just drops for the youth that either get the wrong award or bring the wrong award back up. And it's very public. I mean, it's in front of thousands of people. And so being able to play a game like this where they practice not shaming and blaming is really important before we get to the little things in life as well as those really big things. So as the rest of you are listening in, what is your takeaway today from the positive emotions lesson? And how do you think you'll be using it? I think I want to train our ambassadors in Nebraska as one of their advisors, how to go do this with clubs. I think this is something they could easily go do and provide leadership for. What about the rest of you? Any ways that you would use it?
I was thinking that, like Chandra was thinking, not just what you just said. This will be great for adults. Because we do the blame and shame. It's always somebody else's fault, you know? So I'm thinking about the volunteers in our county.
Right?
Right, I just thought, oh, we could use this as part of our shooting sports volunteer training.
Oh, great idea. When we came up with the do say or do not lie is do not lie, do say I messed up. Like it took a minute there for us to really think of that card. Well, okay, so what is the opposite? Because do tell the truth. Well, if they felt comfortable telling the truth when they messed up, that would have been a great idea, right? But now you have a language. And as a coach, you're also tuned in. So if a kid comes up to you and say, I messed up, you know you're going into forgiveness mode as you're going into problem solving mode instead of just going into like the blame and the shame. And so I love the fact that we came up with the I messed up, because I think that's just a cue for us as caring adults to be able to interact better. Anything else that stood out to anybody? All right. Well, with that, we'd like to thank everybody for joining us today on Shooting Better Scientifically. And we wish you the best going into this very busy 4-H season as our young people are let out of school and you get more time with them. Or maybe you don't get as much time depending on how you run your program, if it's year round, summer or winter, or ran in a different way. Any closing thoughts, Miss Plate?
Have fun with your kids this summer. If you're coming to the national championships, we'll look forward to seeing you there. It's like a great big family reunion every year. So we'll look forward to that. And if you need any help, you know where we are, you know how to get a hold of us, and we're happy to assist. And Scott Stewart, our national coordinator, is also very happy to assist you as well.
And last time we said, come up and say hi if you're national championships. Remind me that you are here, like in Shooting Better Scientifically. We'd love to meet you in person. And that was so cool when people were doing that last year. So please do. We'd love to be able to shake your hand and say hello. All right, Scott, will you stop the recording, please?